Well, it is a rainy day outside, but that's given me a little bit of time to talk to you, that's a blessing in disguise, I guess. I am here to talk to you about one of my, if not my favorite NES and Game Boy magazine, or a book, I should say. It's really quite a little book, but it came free with a magazine. And even though it came free, and even though it's worth nothing, and even though I can't really find anything else about it at the moment on the internet, I had to search a few times. But I do want to show you this, and maybe you've got some of these types of things around that you could share as well. But welcome to the game room. Thanks for stopping by and having a look at something kind of a little bit ridiculous, but a lot of fun. Let's have a look at it. So this is Total 42, Life, the Universe, and Nintendo games. It covers a selection of Nintendo and Game Boy reviews that Total Magazine, I think, must have done prior to the release of this little book that came free with one of the issues. It says, oh no, it's getting all too much. So many Nintendo games and no way of knowing which ones are worth getting until now. Thanks to Total, now you too can sort the wheat from the chaff with 42 Life, the Universe, and Nintendo games, otherwise known as the very best of Total Recall. I'm guessing it says Total Recall because this was a recall of, or kind of publishing of the reviews in the Total magazine, which was brought out by Future Publishing. I think that's why they've dropped in the Total Recall name there as also because Total Recall must have been one of those games that was, I guess, a notable release on the Nintendo system as well. So it has that these are written by Steve Jarrett and Andy Dyer. I don't know if they covered all these reviews, or maybe they compiled these reviews from other ones that have been in the magazine before and then changed them around, and then now they're the authors. I'm not really sure. Has a little bit about the authors there, and then we get over to the publisher page here. So it says, yes, this book is given away with the September 1992 issue of Total. Now, this was a UK magazine, so I think the way I got it in Australia was that it came as an import. Bought this new and in 1992, and it has had many a flip through. Okay, so we have Game Boy and Nintendo Entertainment System. And then they have a little bit of an introduction to each section when you get to it. But then, so it has the review of the game. It has the title of the game, and then it has either the developer or the publisher. I'm not really sure about that one. Plus a price. I don't know if that price is what to expect to buy this game new, or whether that would be secondhand in pounds. Not sure about that one, so it's a bit of a mystery to me. It has how many players you are able to play as. 76% there, that is the review score out of 100. It tells you what issue this came out in and who the author that wrote the review. Now, down the bottom here, it's interesting to note it also has looks, sound, gameplay, and lifespan, and they give it stars out of 5. So it's an interesting system that they give you these stars out of 5 and then give you an overall score. Now, how do you translate this to an overall score of a percent out of 100? I'm not sure. I haven't calculated to see if that would actually be the 76%, or is this one just a kind of an off the top of the head number. Interesting. I did really love this though. Just the kind of the presentation of it and the coverage of games back in 1992, when I definitely had next to no games on the Game Boy. We had a fair few games. We were lucky with the NES. We had a lot of games, but a magazine like this was just so much fun to flip through. Not everything is perfect about this little magazine though, as I'll try and show you a little bit later on. But also, as well as giving the review, it also gave a few little extras down the bottom. Like here, it gives you the some codes for Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure to be able to get to different levels, and sometimes it comes with a little, I guess, a little speech bubble saying a little bit of a catchphrase, or not a catchphrase, but something extra about the game. The games that I did have, like Beret, I think it's Beret. I think that's how you pronounce it. But games like Beret Fighter Deluxe that I had, they were just the most fun to read through. I don't know why that is. If I already had the game, I could make my own opinion about it. But kind of reading somebody else's thoughts and opinions on something that you had was almost just as fun, or maybe even a little bit more fun than the ones that you sometimes didn't have. Ones that I've picked up in the future and had to go at myself as well have been fun to kind of come back and have a read of through this magazine as well. I would love to find little magazines like this one that were just as fun. I haven't found the same type of interest in picking up newer reviews of these types of topics in the present day, and I think one of them is because of the cost of such magazines or of such reviews. In Australia, getting things shipped out from either the UK or US, it kind of kills your excitement over some of these releases when you're paying so much money for them, and then something like this. How much would you pay for this in an op shop? The most I would be paying for it is about $5. And it's just a fun little flip through. So getting some of these new releases, although they might be really good in Australia, it just seems like it's a bit of one of those things it's a bit of a harder ask because of the postage costs. So I'm not going through all of these games. I just wanted to give you a flip through, and maybe you can find something similar to this and really be on the lookout for things like this because they're just so much fun. It's so much fun to go back to. There's not, as I said, there's not many that I actually keep on my shelves anymore. But this is one that I definitely have no interest in parting with. And I did want to show you that, yeah. Oh no, not the one. There are some issues with this magazine as well. I'll see if I can find one as we flip through. So there we are. There's the Game Boy section. Now we're on to the Nintendo Entertainment System. Starts off with Batman, which they loved. Battle of Olympus. Oh, that was one of my favorite NES titles. Stuff like this here. Blue Shadow. Okay, so Blue Shadow I thought is... Yeah, Blue Shadow is a ninja game. So a little bit like what we know as Shadow Warriors, but what in the US is Ninja Gaiden. And that there is definitely not a picture of a ninja game. That is definitely a sports title. So this is not perfect, this magazine, by any stretch of the imagination. Has some classics. Die Hard, that was a confusing game, but it's great fun. Hook was one that always seemed so cool to me, but until I played it, and then it was not that much fun. But like, just the pictures, the big graphics and everything on that one. So here's another one, Low G-Man, and we have a picture of Maniac Mansion. That's definitely Maniac Mansion, not Low G-Man. And then Konami Hyper Soccer. That is the picture that they used for Blue Shadow. So a few issues there. Oh, there's Maniac Mansion with the correct picture. Probotector, which is Contra. Rainbow Islands. I hear that there's two different versions of Rainbow Islands on the NES. So the PAL copy is a different game actually than the NTSC copy. Roller games. I loved roller games. There's one that I used to hire. Smash TV really hit its own on the Super Nintendo. That's one of my favorite games on the Super Nintendo. Not so much on the NES, just because of the controls and the way it actually feels. But once it was released on the Super Nintendo, geez, that game was a masterpiece. Solstice is one that does not get enough love. Solstice was a great puzzle game, and as you can see, 90% here. But one that really, you don't hear people talk about that one very much. And now we've hit the end. So finishing with Zelda 2. And that is it. So thanks for having a look at this one. If you have any special little items like this in your collection, I'd love to either hear or see about them. Or see them, I should say, not see about them. But yeah, thanks for watching this little video. I thought it was a fun one to have a look at, and you can always hit that like and subscribe button if you would like to see some more of this type of silliness.